Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a build guide for the Archivist class in Baldur's Gate 3. So this here is called class_Archivist. Now this mod was made by Heb75 Sushi, so you do have to search class_Archivist to find it. If you just search the Archivist you won't be able to find it. I had some people asking about that yesterday, but basically what this does is it gets every single spell in the game. So it's actually pretty strong. This is not meant to be like something that you'd, play through normally with, but I'm going to cover it anyways because I just think it's pretty funny. So you can get yourself Eldritch Blast, you can get yourself Sacred Flame, you got all different types of spells here. So we'll go with Eldritch Blast, Thorn Whip, and then for our next two cantrips, Minor Illusion and Mage Hand are two that I really love. Guidance is pretty essential, and Resistance can also be good too, so we'll go with those two. For our first spells, I think Shield is definitely an essential and increase armor class by 5. I also am a big fan of Creator Destroyer Water, so we're going to go with that, just because the opportunity to be able to set up with that is crazy. We also get Command, which is one of the best spells in the game. Command can be used all the way through the game because it's very, very strong and can shut down a lot of people. I also like Fog Cloud too. It's a good early game ability to hide. Hunter's Mark can be useful in some builds, but not for this one. Grease is also really good. Where Grease succeeds is because it creates difficult terrain without concentration. So we'll go with Fog Cloud here or Grease. And then for our next level spell, Magic Missile. Hard to go wrong with that, and Chromatic Orb's nice for being able to choose different types of damage. We can also go with the different types of smites, however they do use your bonus action, so that's just something to keep in mind. Hellish Rebuke's nice because it is a reaction as well. Guiding Bolt can help land hits. Ice Knife can be used if you're silenced, so I'm just going to take Chromatic Orb. Actually, we'll take Thunderwave just because the pushback is extremely useful. You can choose a deity, and then for our spell casting, I think that we're going to go full in on our Charisma there. And then the rest of the points into our dexterity, just for the survivability's sake. So 16 dexterity, then we can go 10 wisdom, 10 intelligence, 14 constitution, 16 charisma, our main spellcasting modifier. And you get a lot of different proficiencies. I would recommend taking at least persuasion and intimidation, and then you can go with survival and deception as well. These are just going to be the most useful ones there for dialogue checks. Now we're going to go through different gear that we can use for this to make this as strong as possible, and I'll show you how you can literally solo the game with this, because obviously it's meant to be very OP, because at level 2 you get a lot of different benefits from the different subclasses of the wizard. So you get the Arcane Ward, you get the Sculpt spells, so whenever you cast evocation spells your teammates will not get hurt by them, so fireballs will not blast them. Grim Harvest will give you double the spell level back if you take out a target with it, and 3 times if it's a necromancy spell. So Circle of Death, 18 health back. We also get the Portent Dice, which are really useful, and the Experimental Alchemy, which can give you 2 alchemical solutions. And we get the Hypnotic Gaze, charm and incapacitate a creature, cannot attack, you cannot act. And then we get ourselves a bunch more cantrips. So we'll take things like, I guess, Ray of Frost, cantrip here, Friends. Next cantrip, True Strike, which kind of poo strike. Then we'll take ourselves a heal. Goodberry can be pretty fun. Armor of Agath is really useful. Bless is also nice. And then for this, we'll take ourselves Grease, and then Tasha's Hideous Laughter. And then for the damaging spells, Ensnaring Strike can be nice too, just for crowd control. We'll take ourselves Ice Knife and Chromatic Orb just for the instances where we can use it. Actually, Hellish Rebuke can be pretty nice too. And then for our meta magic, if you got the meta magic empowered spell, this is nice because it'll reroll your damage. But we want to take Twin Spell and also Distance Spell to increase the range, because sometimes you're not able to hit a target, but if you use a Distance Spell, you can hit them. Now we get ourselves some more spells. These are level 2 ones now, so whenever you level up, you only get the selection of those spells. Misty Step and Mirror Image, 2 of the best from this selection. Hold Person, another great spell. Even Web can be nice, but it does require concentration, as does Darkness. And Thrall can have some usefulness, but I just really like Darkness. For our next spell, we get some more damaging options. I'm a big fan of Scorching Ray. Spike Growth's nice too, but it does require concentration, so you're probably better off taking like a Spiritual Weapon, which is great for setting up and crowd controlling. Cloud of Daggers is nice too, and Branding Smite, but Branding Smite does use our bonus action. So and for our meta magic, we're going to take Quicken Spell, 3 sorcery points, but with this you get a spell that casts a bonus action as a bonus action instead of an action. Yeah, we get 2 more spells here. Prayer of Healing can be okay if you don't want to use your short rest, but there's no reason not to. Aid is just a really useful one to increase overall health of your party. Invisibility can be really useful at times too, and so is Detect Thoughts, so which one of these you prefer using. For our next leveled spell, I think that Silence can be great if you have a lot of enemies you're going against, and Knock. You don't want to go to the Shard Temple without Knock, so we'll take that. And Blindness is also a really nice spell that doesn't require concentration. For our next leveled spell, Cloud of Daggers is just really useful, and Melf's Acid Arrow is also pretty good for just overall damage. A lot of these do require concentration, like Spike Growth, Cloud of Daggers, Flaming Sphere, Heat Metal. So Acid Arrow can be a nice one because we do have a lot of concentrations tied up. And we'll take our Charisma up to 18 with our next ability score improvement. Now at level 5 here, we do get some more spells, obviously at level 3 now. So things like Haste being one of our best options. Grand Flight can be good too. Spirit Guardians, the ever popular, we'll go with that. For our next leveled spell, Plant Growth is actually extremely underrated for crowd control because it doesn't require concentration like something like Sleet Storm. We'll also take Counterspell. For our next leveled spell here, Lightning Bolt and Hunger of Adar. Hunger of Adar is really good, does require concentration. There's so many good spells here that it's tricky to choose one. I like the Fireball and Lightning duo here. Those can be really useful. But also Hunger of Hadar, Glyph of Warding, which doesn't require concentration to set up with, and Lightning Arrow can be good too. Depends on if you're using your concentration or not. You can go with Hunger of Hadar and Lightning Bolt. Pretty effective combo right there. At level 6, we get ourselves a potent cantrip. Your cantrips become harder to evade. And then we also get the Undead Thralls, additional summons, and we get the Animate Dead from that too. So we don't even have to take that. Instinctive Charm, charm an enemy attacking you. They'll attack a new target if possible as a reaction. And Expert Divination, you get your dice back when taking a short rest. Or you get your Prophecy at a short rest, and then you can get one of the dice back. Also get Transmuter Stone. See Invisibility. Yeah, there's so many updates here, it doesn't let you scroll through it properly. We also get ourselves the Midnight Teleportation. What's nice with the Transmuter Stone is you can give yourself more movement speed with that. We also get to pick more level 3 spells. This is going to be a lot of different spells. So like Mass Healing Word is not terrible. And then we can go with, I guess, Faint Elemental Weapon. I was having trouble picking this one. Maybe Revivify. And then for crowd control spells, Fear is extremely useful. And Slow can also be really nice to slow targets. Movement and actions are affected. Their armor class and dexterity saves reduced by 2. I like Sleet Storm too, but it does require concentration. Can be nice to stop others' concentrations though. And then for our next level spell, Fireball, I like Glyph of Warding or Lightning Arrow. You can pick which one of these you prefer. Conjure Barrage can be good too, but it's not really suited for this build. And then at level 7, we get ourselves another spell slot with things like Greater Invisibility and Dimension Door. You basically just have to choose these because there's not many choice. Confusion being a really great one, and Average Black Tentacles here. Or I guess you can only pick one, so we'll go with, yeah, that's nice. We only get one. I didn't even realize that. And then Ice Storm is one of my favorites, but also Conjure Woodland Being is extremely useful too because this can do Spike Growth for you. I was like Grasping Vine, they really buffed this spell up. There's a lot of really good ones at level 4. Like I want Ice Storm, Minor Elemental, Woodland Being, Guardian of Faith even can be nice. And at level 8, we get the choices of these here. I wish you could choose multiple from this one here. You're deciding between Elementals, Grasping Vine, Guardian of Faith, or Ice Wall here, or Ice Surfaces. I'm going to go with the Ice Surface because I just find that to be one of the stronger versions of this. At level 9, we get to choose level 5 spells, the Seeming, Greater Restoration, Mass Cure Wounds. Like there's so many choices here. Bold Monster, by far the best spell that we get from here. And I'm a huge fan of Cone of Cold, although I really like Conjure Elemental. Insect Plague and Destructive Wave is another really useful spell. I wish we could take multiple from here just because there's so many great choices. And then at level 10, we get ourselves the improved Abjuration. So whenever you take a short rest, Intensity of Arcane Ward increases equally to your Archivist level. You also get the Empowered Evocation, so you can add your Charisma modifier to damage rolls with evocation spells. Unnerved to Death, you're resistant necrotic damage and your hit point maximum cannot be reduced. Damage taken when you're concentrating on a conjuration spell will not break your concentration. You know your enchantments inside out. You can target 2 creatures with an enchantment spell that you can normally only target 1. And then Illusionary Self, you can magically fashion a duplicate of yourself when attack, causing your foe to automatically miss that attack. We also get ourselves the Shape Changer to be able to turn into a blue jay and fly. And then we get the Third Eye Divination and See Invisibility. And some further spells here, so we'll take Greater Restoration, Planar Binding works, or Telekinesis, your preference there. This is the tough choice because I want both a Destructive Wave and Conjure Elemental, but we'll take Conjure Elemental because it can set us up really nicely. So we'll take Empowered Spell here just because I got the mod, but you'd take one of the other meta magics that you prefer. There's no real right and wrong answer here. Level 6 spells. Globe of Invulnerability, one of the best in the game. What makes this spell so good is you can literally shut down enemies by blocking them with this, so it makes Act 3 a lot easier. For our next spell here, you can go with Otto's Irresistible Dance. And then there's a lot of really good ones here. This is, again, a very loaded one because I want Planar Ally. Chain Lightning is also really useful, and Odaluk's Freezing Sphere and Wall of Ice are also really great. I want to take Planar Ally just because it's extremely useful. Getting a Genie, really nice. And also the Cambion and the Diva are super useful as well. We'll take Hero's Feast here, and then we'll go with the Flesh to Stone or Eye Bite, your choice. And then for the final one, it's either Odaluk's Freezing Sphere or Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning being my personal preference. And then for our feat, we can go with a Dexterity Improvement or Constitution Improvement, or we can go with Alert, which will give you +5 to your initiative and cannot be surprised. So you get going first, you can drop all your spells, and then you become nigh impossible to take out. So we're going to be using spells pretty much the entire time here, and you can see here, oh, it's an overwhelming list. So you can take off some of the ones that you're not going to use, like shape changing into a Blue Jay. If you find some of these spells you're just not using, feel free to take them off and put another more popular one in its place. So we can free cast some of these, and there's like a little trick you can do by taking your underwear slot and then also hot swapping that onto the bar. If you go and apply that, you can give yourself a free cast. So we can use this to give ourselves a free Diva here. So we'll summon in the, I guess I should have went with the Genie. The Diva works pretty well too, but I like the Diva a bit more. So you can see here when you swap off, you get another free cast. So sometimes it is a little bit buggy. There we go. So you can summon in like the Genie instead. So we'll pop that bad boy down. I like the Genie a little bit more. And then we'll cycle this and get ourselves that free cast again. And then we'll go with our Conjure Elemental. So the Conjure Elemental will be, I prefer the Water Myrmidon. So that's another really good choice. We also can, you know, go with one of these other options here. So if you put it into turn-based mode, this does work a little bit better. We'll summon in the Water Myrmidon, which is the best choice here. So then we'll just go ahead, ending turn-based mode. And then basically what you want to be doing, you don't have to do this little glitch, but since we're using a class that's extremely overpowered, why not make it a little bit even more overpowered? The turn-based mode, swap it on, swap it off. Sometimes you can't do it without having that extra action, so you just gotta wait for turn-based mode to leave, and we're just gonna summon in our Woodland Being for another summon. So the Woodland Being there, we'll drop this down. This Woodland Being also has their own summon, but I want to show you how to solo with this one. You also got your Transmuter Stone, so we'll take the Transmuter Stone and give ourselves you can get lightning resistance. Movement speed's my favorite. Constitution saving throw proficiency is also really useful, so I'll go with the increased movement speed to give ourselves more movement speed, and you can pop that off. And we're going to be using obviously mostly spells for our attacks, so yeah, we can target two targets with our command, which is really nice with just using a level 1 spell slot. With this, I also like to have, if you got the Staff of Spell Power, you can go with that, or the Marka Heshker. So we're going to actually apply Marka Heshker here just to make this as strong as possible. This is a great staff. We'll use Viconia's Walking Fortress. As for our armor, if you want to make this min-max, you can go with the Helldusk armor. Using the Robe of the Weave here gives us increased spell save DC, but Helldusk armor is just the stronger choice, so we'll go with that to give us 27 armor class. Also, you can go with the Hood of the Weave to increase your spell save DC, and then same with the Helldusk gloves. We'll go with the Boots protection, Ring of Protection, and then the Amulet of Greater Health. And I went with Snowburst Ring to create ice surfaces when we deal damage with ice spells. So early game, you can actually hit with Ray of Frost or Ice Knife, and then later on in the game, you can go with like your Cone of Cold or your Ice Arm will make ice surfaces anyways, but this can be really nice. Now, what this looks like in terms of combat, I'll show that off because it becomes really, really strong really quickly. And I will ungroup myself, so we just have our summons here, and then our Dryad also has herself a summon, the Fallen Lover, so we'll pop that down too. So we got all of our squad here. Even though this is just soloing it, we got ourselves 2 Myrmidons and 2 other summons, so it obviously is pretty powerful. But the way we can set up is actually, you can get your Water Myrmidon to go do a mass heal. I guess outside of combat you can't do that, but we can drop, using our little trick here, we can drop a upcasted command, or an upcasted version of Create Water to be able to apply it to the whole battlefield. So using our upcasted version, we're able to create water in a huge area. So free level, I guess we use our level 5 spells there accidentally, but we'll blast them all with Create Water. And then with this, we'll just go ahead with our water spell, or with our cold spells and our lightning spells. We'll deal a ton of damage. So also, since we're using the Marka Heshker, we can apply ourselves with the Kareska's Favor, and either Bolts of Doom for the lightning charges, or the Frost of the Dark Winter is going to be the best choice. I want to go with the Bolts of Doom here because we get ourselves a free lightning bolt and chain lightning. And then on top of this, I would also recommend going with the Gaunter Mail Bow so you can haste yourself. And then that's just a really effective way to start combat. So we also can haste ourselves naturally. So we can go with that there, but your choice which way you want to do this. Haste is just extremely useful to have. And then once you got that set, since we have a concentration, we can't use like Hunger of Hadar. You can also have someone else set up that on you. So that can be another way of going about it. But we're going to blast with a Cone of Cold here, or a lightning bolt, I guess, to hit in a large line there, so we can hit everyone all the way back. And that's a great way to start. Need a 21 to save. They rolled a 10. The only downside to this is your Portent dice will activate pretty much every time, so you will probably want to end up using these early on. But you can see there, a lot of a lot of choices. We didn't even roll the highest initiative, so I should have had the Hellrider Longbow still on. They got a critical miss, nice. And Ensnaring Strike. As long as we don't get hit with command, we'll be good. So my turn, we'll go with something like Cone of Cold, which you can see we can hit 5 of them there with a Cone of Cold. And yeah, we'll just basically, we'll make it so that he rolled a critical success. No, he didn't. And that took out most of them. There's one still standing, but you can see we got a huge ice surface set up. So we're pretty untouchable. And then we also got ourselves a Quicken spell, so we can cast another spell if we wanted to. Or we can drop down a spiritual weapon to help spread aggro. Depending on how you want to go about this, we can go with the Quicken spell here, and then go with something like a Ice Storm, and then this will just further create difficult terrain for the enemies. So then they'll hit 3 targets, so that's even better. And we took out all of them with the Ice Storm. That was pretty crazy. So yeah, ice surfaces are our best friend here. That was a really effective turn 1. Now the genie can fly or teleport himself around using the shifting winds. So we're just going to get right up in his face. And he's immune to prone, which is huge for this strategy. And Thunderwave, see ya later. So that's where the genie really shines, is being able to not only, I guess, not slip on your ice surfaces, but also be able to do a ton of damage by just knocking enemies out. Since we haven't hurt these enemies yet, we'll go with our healing vapors, and I'm going to try and blast. Yeah, we got all of them with our healing vapors. Perfect. We'll just end our turn there. Yes, they healed, but that doesn't even matter. And then we can drop down a spike growth here to crowd control them. So this will cause some of them to not move around as much, which is really nice. And then we'll just let them come at us and attack our summons. So that's a nice thing, is our summons will tank for us. We try to shove our water myrmidon or our woodwode for whatever reason. We can entangle them. That's fine. The concentration entangle. That's good. So they're probably going to go after, yeah, our dryad here. Water myrmidon needs a 19 to save. We can make it a 20. And then Dark Urge needs a 19 to save. They rolled a 16. And our Portent dice will not react. Shoot. We saved on it anyway, so that's good. Don't know what happened there, but there's water set up, so we're ready to go at them with maybe a chain lightning next turn. We can Misty Step our way over there, because sometimes it will make you move. Yeah, so that's the one thing you want to watch out for, is when you have a bunch of ice surfaces, you want to Misty Step your way around to avoid slipping. And Misty Step will make you slip if you teleport there, so just be mindful of that. We'll hit him with a chain lightning, and that took them all out and started a secondary fight with Wind Freshwater, which is gonna come to a rude awakening why you don't start a fight with someone that's the Archivist here. So we'll just blast them with an ice knife just to keep it simple and make another ice surface. So that is the Archivist class. Slip and fell, speaking of that. We lost our concentration on haste, so that's why you don't want to slip. Nir's boots also work well in this build, especially if you're using like that snowburst ring. Nir's boots, the disintegrating Nightwalkers, can be extremely effective for just preventing yourself from slipping and falling on your face. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this build in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.